would like to touch on something today. I was just talking to a friend of mine that I've known since I was a kid. Me and him was in a juvenile facility in Texas together way back in the day, and I just reached out and found this guy because some of y'all know I'm trying to finish my book, and I'm trying to reach out, for witnesses and people that were there when I was where I was at. But today I was talking to a friend of mine, and it got me to thinking, and I haven't posted a video to some people that are new to my page, but sometimes during the day we get caught up in shit that aggravates the fuck out of us, shit that really makes us mad, and we think about how fucked up we really are, how bad things are for us. We think about, man, how I'm getting fucked around today by the boss, how I'm getting fucked around, my paycheck is $400 and it should be $700. Or we find out that this new guy that just started, how much more money he's making than we are. And without even knowing this man's skills or knowing anything about him, his resume, nothing, we already automatically want to go to the boss and say, hey man, what the fuck? Sometimes we got to stop and reorganize and think about what we say if we don't have our ducks in order. In other words, if we don't have our shit in order, like let's say a guy gets hired today and I go right away to the boss and I ain't did no research. I don't know nothing about this guy. I don't know that he's been doing this field for 20 years. I don't know nothing. I just heard him say that he's getting paid $5 an hour more than me. And immediately I run up there and stick my foot in my own fucking mouth because I didn't do the research and find out. Then we don't want to look like no fool, so we're going to stand on that little piece of real estate that we done talk shit from and try to hold ground looking ridiculous. Sometimes it's better to look into things before you just jump the gun and do something, because if you make a fool out of you in the end, and then you ain't going to want to back down. I used to be that guy. I used to do that all the fucking time. I don't know how many times, and thank God I don't know how many times it happened, where I done some dumbass shit and I look retarded. Today, I have my own issues. I'm not completely the fuck crazy, but I got intermittent explosive disorder that I don't take medicine for, and I got they say bipolar and PTSD. If I take medicines for those things, I can't function normally. I probably couldn't drive a car. I couldn't do nothing. So therefore, I manage my stress the best way that I can, just like I did when I was in the penitentiary or when I was in juvenile, wherever I was. I had to learn how to maneuver and work through the world with my issues, because nobody gives a fuck at the end of the day. Or I could go take medicine and be standing around in front of ComCare, walking around in the parking lot, talking about who knows what. I'm going to go out the way that I came in, natural. I'm going to do my best to try to behave myself the best I can. So I give this good advice because I'm in a good state of mind today. Sometimes a person delivering a message can be fucking crazy than a motherfucker. But it doesn't mean the message is good. Have you ever heard the joke about the crazy dude changing the rich man's tire? A guy comes along in a Lamborghini, poof, he blows the tire out right in front of this crazy house. It's a halfway house for people that are mentally, have mental issues. The guy's out there standing around looking at his flat tire, trying to call people, and this guy's like, maybe he needs some help. So the guy that's in the crazy house walks out to the guy in the Lamborghini and he goes, blew a tire, right? And he goes, yeah, I don't know what to do. He goes, well, do you got a spare tire? And he goes, well, yeah, I think I do back here. So the crazy guy starts helping him get all his tools, helps him jack the car up, helps him take the fucking tire off, put the new tire on, put it back in there. And the rich guy's scratching his head and he's like, I don't understand. And the crazy guy's like, what? He goes, you just completely helped me change this tire. Here I am rich and I don't know nothing about this, but you changed a fucking tire. He goes, okay, well, I might be crazy, but I'm not fucking ignorant. Okay? And that's the thing about me. I'm not ignorant. I might have some other issues, but I'm not fucking ignorant. And what I'm saying is that sometimes we got to go back to my original message. We got to go back and think about where we was 15 years ago. We got to think where we was 20 years ago. We got to think about everything that happened, whether our mama died or daddy died, whatever, and we got through it. whatever we went through back then sometimes ain't nothing to what we're dealing with right now. But right now, what we're thinking about is the end of the world. Those of you that don't know anything about me, I've never had a mama or daddy, at least from 9 years old up. My daddy got sent to prison for 25 years for torturing me and my brother out here in the Arizona desert. A lot of people don't know that. Then I was put in placement in Texas in the juvenile facility because my behavior was so fucked up, but nobody knew why at the time. And so they put me in the Texas Youth Commission. That's what these TYC numbers are on my arm. And I was raised from 10 years old there. No birthday parties, no fucking Christmas, no fucking gift packages in the mail, even when the other kids was getting home packages. I didn't get none of that shit. My brother was somewhere else being raised. Turns out he was up here in Kansas being raised. I didn't know that. I didn't know where the fuck Kansas was. I get through all that bullshit, go to prison, go from juvenile to TDC, get out of TDC and come to Kansas, and goddamn if I ain't right back in community corrections and then not too long later facing a robbery charge for armed robbery. I don't know how many other cases since then, but everybody's looking at me and thinking this motherfucker is fucking out there. I have my own set of rules and values that I live by every fucking day. And after saying that I was busted for 2 aggravated armed robberies. Some of y'all did time with me in Kansas and you know. Some of you don't. Some of y'all been in work from these community corrections, residential when it was on Emporia. Some of y'all done been to all those places with me. And in your mind, just think, what did you think? I was a wannabe white boy? Maybe that's what you thought? You know, one of those dudes that walk around with his pants sagging. Have you ever seen my pants sagging down? No. How many white boys got gold and diamonds in their mouth? Not very many of them unless it's a grill. Which is what led me to selling grills, right? Here's the bigger thing. I can't help if I'm raised around blacks and Mexicans, that's who I'm gonna relate to. That's who the fuck I'm gonna relate to. And you can't be a kid in the Texas juvenile system and it's predominantly white. It's not. Especially in the 80s, okay? So I don't walk around trying to be nobody. I am who the fuck I am, that's it. But every day I have my own set of rules and values, and I don't know how many of y'all probably thought I was evil, I was fucked up, I'd cut your throat. I remember these 2 bangers back in the day I was real cool with. They always kind of stood off from me. I never knew why. One day one of them tells me, well, my brother said not to let you know where we live because he said he know about a couple robberies you did and you'll come and rob us. I couldn't believe that. I have my own set of values. I may make you think that I'm going to take your life in a fucking robbery, but I have my own morals and values on what I won't do. And that's not to say that I won't shoot you in the leg and hope you live if you try to get too motherfucking heroic, but that was back then. I still have my values and boundaries I would never cross. What I'm getting at is if I think back to then, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and I look at my problems that I'm dealing with today, it's like night and fucking day. In the heat of the moment, it's about right here, right now. That's it. That's what it's about. But later on, when I get to moving down the highway and I say, well, you know, about 20 years ago, you was dealing with something worse. 15 years ago, you was dealing with this. Your mama may have died. Your daddy may have died, just like mine. But we got through that. It took a little longer than normal. Me, it didn't take as long because I didn't really know him that well. But I moved the fuck on. I never sat around and complained about not having no mom or no dad, and I'm in the system and sat around and cried about it. I was too busy living the life. I had to keep moving. And that's what the fuck you got to do when you're having problems here and now. You got to keep moving and okay, well, this shit's fucked up, but what are we going to do? We got to keep moving. That's what we got to do. We can't let nothing stop us. Every day, tornadoes come and tear people's houses down and they fucking leave. Flash floods take motherfuckers' houses off the side of the mountains and demolish them into nothing. But tomorrow, we got to get the fuck up and build a new place and keep moving, because at the end of the day, your story was on the news 2 or 3 days, and that's it. It was on CNN. It was on Fox. It was on Channel 10. It was on Channel 3 for 2 or 3 days. It was in the newspaper one day. Sooner or later, that shit is old news. And it's what are you doing? What are you doing different? Whether you realize it or not, without even thinking, you get back to doing what you're supposed to do. And that's what you got to do in the middle of a crisis. That's it. You know, people say I'm materialistic. You're right. That's me. Because I lived a life of not having nothing. But I'll get up tomorrow and do whatever the fuck it is I got to do to have because I care about my image. I care about what car I'm driving. I do care about those things. It's silly. There are some people that are beyond that are on the more mature things, but I haven't got there yet. I'm still running a race, and I'm still in the end, but I'm still running. I'm still moving. And if you don't understand, if you say, well, I can't look back 20 years ago and say that I had it fucked up, so I can't use that as a comparison. This shit I got going on right now is the worst thing I've ever had to deal with in my life. Then if that's the case, then shut the fuck up and pay your dues, because the rest of us have done paid them. If that's nothing bad enough for you ever happened to you, if nothing bad enough has happened to you for you to look back up on and say this ain't so bad, then shut the fuck up. It's your turn to go through what we went through. How many rich motherfuckers work at Enron or one of these big old Elon Musk or one of them guys lose all their shit and go shoot themselves in the fucking head because they ain't never been to the bottom. They don't ever want to go down there. To them, that's like their first fucking time walking into Folsom prison on the main fucking yard, and they never even been to jail. That's what it's like to them. Okay? They done seen 3-4 motherfuckers get raped in intake on the orientation unit, whatever, and they go into the main yard where there's less supervision, and they ain't ever had nothing, they ain't never seen none shit like that. Man, them motherfuckers, that's how they feel. Me, I've been to the complete bottom. The only thing I have not done yet, by the grace of God, is been on drugs, addicted to drugs, or been sleeping on a park bench. I've been one day from sleeping on the park bench, not being able to pay my motel money, and I had to get out and do what I thought I had to do to make that happen. So, all I can say is when you think things are really fucked up, look back. Think back in your memory. Replay what happened to you 20 years ago. You lost your mom. You lost your dad. You lost an arm, a leg. You had cancer. There are motherfuckers that are going to die tomorrow that wish they had your fucking problems. Whether they die in the electric chair, whether they die from somebody being, for cancer, an illness, whatever, they wish they had what you got going on right now. Now, I know tomorrow some shit's going to happen to me and I'm going to get fucked up and I'm going to get pretty pissed off and I'm going to call somebody up and cuss the fuck out of them. But I guarantee you within a few hours I'm going to think back and how wrong I was for doing such a thing. Because, and that's the other thing. If you right, go ahead and stand on your fucking feet. Sometimes we got to make sacrifices, though, in order to be right or wrong tomorrow. We can't win every battle. If you try to win every battle, nobody is going to want to fuck with you. Nobody's going to want to be your friend. You ain't going to be able to keep a bitch. You ain't going to be able to do shit. Sometimes you got to let some other people win. That's what you got to do. And I think I lost so many battles in my young life that's my problem today sometimes, is I don't want to let nobody win no more. And if they don't want to fuck with me, so be it. You don't see very many people on this friends list. If you're watching this video, click out of it and go to my friends list. Those people that are on my friends list are either giving me thumbs up on my videos, they make a comment, or they're somebody I really know from back in the day. I'll just give you one example, like just one, like Lacey, for example. I know Lacey since I was married to his niece years ago. Ernie Marks, God, who else is on there? There's a couple other people on there I knew from back in the day. Whether they comment on anything I'm talking about or not, I know them for years. Face, Jermaine Williams, there's a few other cats. Those are people. And there are some people that I crossed off my page that I've known for years that did some fucked up shit. And sometimes I think back and I'm like, well, you ain't perfect, so maybe you shouldn't have done that. But it is what it is. I don't send friend requests to nobody. Can't nobody on here. My homeboy C-Sane, Ron Mathis on here. Known him since I first came to Kansas visiting, me when we was kids. Me and him used to steal bikes and shit together. So at the end of the fucking day, think about where you was and be your own man. Do your own thing. Me, if I'm not leading the show, I'm not in the fucking show. I'm on the sideline watching you motherfuckers act a fool. If I'm not in the running and I'm not the one up front, I'm not willing to take that charge. I'm 48 now. I'm not fixing to lose no more of my fucking life behind some dumbass shit that I don't that I don't believe in. So it is what it is. So that's all I really want to say today.